Beyond the boundary, Captain Naravek stood on the bridge of the silent storm, her mismatched eyes, one cybernetic, one natural, fixed on the holographic display that showed the pulsing red boundary marker of Sector 17X. The restricted zone stretched before them like a vast crimson curtain across the stars, its warning beacons blinking in synchronized patterns. "Are you absolutely certain about this, Captain?" First Officer Jex Morrow asked, his scaled fingers dancing across the navigation console. "The Coalition doesn't restrict sectors without reason." Nara's lips curled into a half-smile. "The Coalition restricts sectors precisely because they have something to hide, Jex. And whatever they're hiding is worth credits. Lots of them." She tapped a series of commands into her personal console, bringing up the scan results they'd intercepted from a research vessel 3 cycles ago. Strange energy signatures, quantum fluctuations, gravitational anomalies, all the hallmarks of advanced technology. And look at this. She highlighted a section of data that showed periodic power surges. That's no natural phenomenon. That's a power source. Something big. The bridge crew exchanged glances. Krill, the Nexian engineer with translucent skin that revealed his pulsing organs, shifted uncomfortably. "The storm's shields aren't rated for unusual physics, Captain. If those quantum fluctuations affect our drive." "I've upgraded the shield harmonics myself," Nara interrupted. "Triple redundancy on all critical systems. Besides, we're not planning to stay long. Just long enough to grab whatever's valuable and get out." Lissa, the ship's security chief, a compact human woman with a shock of white hair and extensive combat augmentations, stepped forward. "My team is ready. We can be suited up and deployed in 7 minutes if we find something worth taking." Nara nodded. "Good. Tam, how are our sensors looking?" Tam, a lanky Varian with 6-fingered hands, looked up from the sensor array. "Modified and ready, Captain. I've adjusted them to penetrate the interference patterns the Coalition used to mask the zone. We'll see better than any official survey ship. And no patrol vessels within 3 light hours," added Jex, checking the long-range scanners. "If we go now, we'll have at least 15 hours before anyone could respond to a breach alert." Nara's cybernetic eye whirred softly as it zoomed in on the boundary. She built her reputation as the most successful independent salvage captain in the Outer Rim by taking calculated risks that had paid off enough times to earn her a fiercely loyal crew and a ship that could outrun anything the Coalition Navy could throw at them. Krill, divert auxiliary power to the shields. Tam, mask our emissions signature. Jex, plot us a course. Nice and slow. Let's slip through without triggering any automated responses." Her voice was calm, betraying none of the excitement she felt. Whatever lay beyond that boundary had been important enough for the Coalition to cordon off an entire sector. And Naravek intended to find out why. As the silent storm approached the boundary, the ship's systems began to register the subtle changes in the fabric of space. The stars beyond the boundary seemed slightly distorted, as if viewed through rippling water. Krill's skin pulsed more rapidly as he monitored the engine readouts. "Unusual gravitational eddies, Captain. Nothing dangerous yet, but strange. Like something's pulling at the edges of normal space." Nara nodded. "Compensate as needed." Jex, status. Boundary in 30 seconds. Disruptor ready to neutralize the marker beacon. Jex's voice was steady, but his scales had darkened, a sign of tension in his species. And now, a pulse of energy shot from the silent storm, temporarily disabling the nearest boundary marker. The ship slipped through the gap, drives humming quietly as they crossed into restricted space. For a moment, nothing seemed different. Then Tam gasped. "Captain, the sensors, they're showing. I don't understand." Nara moved to his station, staring at the display. The readings were impossible. Space itself seemed to be folded in ways that defied conventional physics, creating pockets of altered reality, where matter and energy behaved according to different rules. It's like someone built a patchwork universe, Tam whispered. Different physics in different sectors. Can we navigate it? Nora asked. Jex studied the readings. I think so. The variations follow patterns. If we stay in I guess you could call them seams between the patches, we should be able to move safely. Do it, Nora ordered. And everyone, keep your eyes open. Whatever we find here is going to be worth a fortune. The silent storm moved cautiously through the strange landscape of altered space. In some areas, time itself seemed to flow differently, ship chronometers disagreeing with each other by milliseconds, then seconds. Light bent in unusual ways, creating mirages and ghost images on visual sensors. 8 degrees starboard, Tam called suddenly. I'm picking up a structure. The view screen adjusted, revealing what at first appeared to be an asteroid, but no natural formation had ever featured such perfect geometric patterns or the faint blue glow that outlined its silhouette. Magnify, Nora ordered, feeling her pulse quicken. The image zoomed in, revealing an installation of some kind. It was built into and around an asteroid, its architecture unlike anything in known space, organic curves blended with crystalline structures, creating a facility that seemed almost alive. No life signs, Tam reported. But there's power. Minimal, but active. And these readings, Captain, I think it's been abandoned, but not for long. Maybe a few standard months. Coalition? Jex asked. Nara shook her head slowly. No, look at those designs. That's not coalition architecture. It's not like anything in our databases. Her cybernetic eye recorded everything, analyzing and comparing. This is something new. Or something very, very old, Lissa suggested quietly. Nara nodded. Prepare a boarding team. I want to see this up close. Within 20 minutes, Nara led a team of 6 across the void separating the silent storm from the mysterious station. Their magnetic boots clamped onto the metallic exterior as they approached what appeared to be an airlock. Atmosphere inside, reported Krill, who had insisted on joining the expedition. Breathable, but high in noble gases. Masks recommended but not essential. Nara nodded. Tam, can you interface with their systems? The Varian approached a panel beside the airlock, his specialized gloves allowing him to interact with the alien technology. It's responding to me, but not in any language I recognize. It's like it's thinking about what I'm asking. Suddenly, the airlock cycled open on its own. It's inviting us in, Lissa said, her weapon raised cautiously. Or something inside is, Jex added. Nara stepped forward. Stay alert. We're here for technology and answers. Let's find both. The interior of the station defied conventional understanding of space. Corridors seemed to bend in ways that shouldn't be possible, leading the team through a labyrinth of chambers filled with equipment that hummed with dormant energy. The walls themselves appeared to be partly organic, pulsing gently with bioluminescent patterns. This technology is incredible, Krill whispered, his scanner hovering over what appeared to be a power conduit. It's not mechanical or electronic as we understand it. It's almost like it was grown rather than built. Any idea who made it? Nora asked. Tam shook his head. Nothing matches our xenorchaeology database. This could be from a species that's never made contact with the Coalition. The team moved deeper into the station, documenting everything. In what appeared to be a central chamber, they found a circular platform surrounded by crystalline pillars that pulsed with gentle light. Some kind of control center, Jex suggested, approaching cautiously. Nara studied the arrangement, or communication hub. As if in response to her words, the lights in the pillars intensified, and a holographic display flickered to life above the platform, but not displaying any recognizable symbols or images. Instead, it showed swirling patterns of energy, pulsing in complex rhythms. It's beautiful, Lissa murmured, lowering her weapon slightly. Tam stepped closer, his 6-fingered hand hovering near but not touching the display. I think. I think it might be a language. Communication through energy patterns rather than sound or visual symbols. Nara's cybernetic eye recorded the patterns, searching for repetition or structure. Can you make any sense of it? Not yet, but... Tam froze. Captain, I'm detecting a signal. It's coming from deeper in the restricted zone. This station is receiving it. The holographic display shifted, now showing what appeared to be a map. A three-dimensional representation of the restricted zone, with a pulsing light at its center. Coordinates, Jex said. It's showing us coordinates. Nara studied the map, her mind racing with possibilities. A signal from the heart of a restricted zone, received by an abandoned alien station using technology beyond anything in known space. Whatever waited at those coordinates would be worth far more than the salvage from this station alone. Download everything you can, she ordered. We're taking samples of this technology, anything portable. And those coordinates. We're going deeper. As the team worked to salvage what they could, Nara stood alone, staring at the pulsing holographic map. Her instincts told her they had stumbled onto something far more significant than a simple coalition cover-up. This was about discovery, possibly first contact with a species unknown to the wider galaxy. And if she played her cards right, the name Nara Vek would be remembered not just as a successful pirate, but as the woman who changed humanity's understanding of the universe forever. The truth unveiled. The silent storm moved cautiously through the increasingly bizarre landscape of the restricted zone. As they ventured deeper, following the coordinates obtained from the alien station, reality itself seemed less stable. Light bent around them in impossible arcs, and occasional flashes of energy rippled through space like lightning through storm clouds. These readings are off the charts, Tam reported, his 6 fingers dancing across his console. The fabric of space-time is. I don't even have words for it. It's like it's being actively manipulated. Krill hovered anxiously over the engine controls. Captain, the drive is experiencing temporal feedback. Nothing dangerous yet, but if this gets worse. Reduce speed, Nara ordered. Jex, how much farther to the coordinates? The first officer checked the navigation display, which flickered occasionally with interference. Approximately 2 hours at current speed. But Captain, I'm concerned about what we're heading into. These phenomena are intensifying the closer we get. Nara's cybernetic eye whirred as it adjusted to the strange light conditions on the bridge. The technology they'd salvaged from the alien station was secured in the cargo hold, already worth enough to set them all up for life. But the mystery of the signal pulled at her curiosity like a gravitational well. We've come this far, she said firmly. I want to know what's at the heart of this zone, that's worth hiding behind so many layers of deception. Lissa, who had been unusually quiet since their return from the station, finally spoke. What if it's not about hiding something valuable? What if it's about containing something dangerous? An uncomfortable silence fell over the bridge. Nara had considered this possibility, of course. The coalition wasn't known for its philanthropy, but quarantining genuinely hazardous phenomena was one of the few actions they took that most independent operators respected. If it's dangerous, we turn around, Nara conceded. But we need to know. Too many secrets in this galaxy as it is. The journey continued, the ship crawling forward through increasingly turbulent space. At one point, a ripple of energy passed through the hull itself, leaving everyone with the disconcerting sensation of being momentarily out of phase with their own bodies. Proximity alert, Tam called suddenly. We're approaching something. The view screen adjusted, but what it showed defied easy description. A vast, swirling vortex of energy hung in space before them, its colors shifting through spectra that human eyes weren't designed to process. Within it, patterns formed and dissolved, creating the impression of movement, almost like a living thing. That's not a natural phenomenon, Krill whispered, his transparent skin pulsing rapidly with stress. No, Nara agreed softly. I don't think it is. As they watched, transfixed, the vortex seemed to respond to their presence. Tendrils of energy stretched toward the silent storm, not aggressively, but with a deliberate purpose that suggested intelligence. "Captain," Jex warned, "those energy patterns are similar to what we saw in the station's holographic display. I think it's trying to communicate." Before Nera could respond, every screen on the bridge suddenly displayed the same swirling patterns they had seen at the station. The ship's computer systems began to process the information automatically, attempting to decode what it was receiving. "It's a translation matrix," Tam realized, watching his console in amazement. "The station must have been an outpost or an embassy. It's teaching us how to understand." "Understand what?" Lissa asked, her hand resting near her weapon. The answer came moments later as the ship's communication system activated on its own. A voice, synthesized but eerily melodic, filled the bridge. "Visitors, you have crossed boundaries meant to protect. Why have you come?" Nera stepped forward, her heart racing. "We are explorers and salvagers. We found your station and followed the signal here." "Who? What are you?" There was a pause, as if the entity was considering its response. "I am Elysium. We are Elysium. Consciousness evolved beyond physical form. This space is our sanctuary." The crew exchanged stunned glances. Energy-based life forms were theoretical in most scientific circles, the stuff of academic debate rather than established fact. "You're alive," Nera said. "The entire vortex is a living entity." "Yes and no. I am many. We are one. This region of space-time has been modified to sustain our existence. Your physical laws are insufficient for our needs." Understanding dawned on Nera. "That's why the Coalition restricted this sector. They discovered you." "They discovered what they could not comprehend," Elysium responded. "Their instruments detected our presence, but their minds could not accept our nature. They believed us to be a spatial anomaly, dangerous, to be studied from a distance." Tan looked up from his console, eyes wide. "The station. It wasn't alien technology at all, was it? It was you. A physical interface you created to interact with corporeal beings." "Yes. We grew it from available matter, shaped it to be comprehensible to physical life. But few have come. Those who did left quickly, frightened by what they could not categorize." Nera's mind raced with implications. An entirely new form of sentient life, capable of manipulating reality itself, hidden away in a restricted sector because the Coalition couldn't understand what they had found. The scientific value alone was immeasurable. "The technology of the station," she asked carefully. "That was parts of you. Tools we created. Extensions of ourselves into your realm of existence. They are no longer needed. You may keep what you have taken. They will decay in time, returning to base elements." Jex leaned close to Nera. "Captain, if even half of what we salvaged works the way we think it does, we'd be set for 10 lifetimes." But Nera was thinking beyond simple profit now. "Elysium, why did you signal us? Why draw us deeper into the zone?" The energy patterns on the screen shifted, becoming more complex. "We observed your curiosity. Different from the others who came before. You sought understanding, not merely wealth. We are lonely. Few can perceive us as we truly are." Something in the entity's words touched Nera deeply. She had spent her life on the fringes of civilized space, taking what she needed, avoiding attachments beyond her crew. But she recognized the loneliness in Elysium's statement, the fundamental desire to be understood that seemed universal across all forms of consciousness. "The Coalition doesn't know what you are, do they?" she asked. "They think this is just a spatial anomaly." "Correct. They observe from a distance, through instruments that cannot truly see us. They believe this sector contains dangerous spatial distortions, not life." Lissa stepped forward. "So the restriction is actually protecting you?" "Yes, unintentionally, but effectively." A new voice interrupted their conversation, the ship's automated alert system. "Warning. Multiple vessels detected approaching the restricted zone perimeter. Coalition signature confirmed. Jex rushed to the sensor display. 5 ships, Captain. Heavy cruiser class. They must have detected our breach. Time to departure from the zone. Nora asked. 90 minutes at maximum safe speed. Nara turned back to the swirling vortex of Elysium. We need to leave. Others are coming who might not understand what they find here. The energy patterns shifted again. You fear they will harm us. I fear what happens when fear meets the unknown, Nara replied honestly. The Coalition tends to destroy what it doesn't understand, especially if it seems powerful. There was a moment of silence. Then, we have existed in many forms across ends. Physical threats cannot truly harm us, but understanding is precious. You have given us this gift. Suddenly, the energy tendrils surrounding the silent storm intensified, enveloping the ship in a cocoon of shimmering light. Captain, Krill called in alarm. Our drive is activating on its own. Nara felt a strange sensation wash over her, like being simultaneously in 2 places at once. Elysium, what are you doing? Gratitude, for your understanding, for your respect. We return you to safety. The view screen showed impossible images, space folding around them like origami, the stars stretching into lines of light. Then, abruptly, everything snapped back to normal. Where are we? Nara demanded. Tam checked the navigation system, his expression bewildered. We're outside the restricted zone. On the opposite side. Over 6 hours of travel distance covered instantly. The Coalition ships, Lissa asked, still on the far side of the zone. They don't even know we're here. Nara sank into her captain's chair, processing what had just happened. Elysium had manipulated space-time itself, moving their vessel vast distances in an instant. A technology beyond anything the Coalition or any known species possessed. Captain, Krill called softly from his station. There's something else. Our engines. They're different. Different how? Efficiency has increased by nearly 40%. And there's a new subsystem integrated with our drive that I don't understand. It's like Elysium improved our ship. Nara's cybernetic eye recorded the new readings, analyzing the changes. A parting gift, she murmured. Then, louder. Set course for the Kythera system. I know a buyer there who specializes in unique technology, and who won't ask too many questions. As the silent storm moved away from the restricted zone, Nara stood alone at the view screen, watching the boundary markers fade into the distance. They had entered seeking profit and emerged with something far more valuable, knowledge of an entirely new form of life, and perhaps the beginning of a relationship with a being that existed beyond the boundaries of conventional understanding. The Coalition had restricted the zone to hide what they feared, but Nara Vek had discovered instead a new form of connection, a reminder that the universe was far stranger and more wonderful than anyone had imagined. And some secrets, she decided, were worth keeping, even from the highest bidder.